Hi everybody, Natasha here today.
And Dr. Corey King from AskDrKing.com.
And I am here today to give you your tip number 2 on how I am overcoming Epstein-Barr Virus, mold toxicity, while overcoming or battling Hashimoto's disease. And the tip number 2 is supporting your immune system. So there's 3 different priorities that I'm going to talk about, or Dr. King and I are going to talk about. And the first thing is killing off the bad guys, bacteria. For me, it's bacteria, candida, and fungi.
Which was the mold.
Yes, exactly. Right. And so, what are the things that I've been taking?
So for Natasha,
I can't keep track.
She's been taking a lot of stuff to help kill these critters off. I like to call them critters, but we've been using a product called GI Synergy from one of my favorite companies called Apex Energetics. It kills off bacteria, parasitic infections, along with candida, which is something that Natasha has battled. She's also been using a product called lauricidin, which is fantastic for killing off bacteria, fungi such as the mold, and along with parasitic infections. What was that little spray that you were using?
It was it was like a nasal colloidal silver spray.
Yeah, it was basically a colloidal silver that she was using to spray into the nostrils because we wanted to make sure she didn't have any mold up in the sinuses, because we did find it also in your lungs in the mold test.
So what happened is that when I had mold exposure, I thought that I always had sinus infections and all of this stuff, and I always had pain in my frontal, or my maxillary and my frontal sinuses. And I went through x-rays, dentist and everything, and finally we figured out that's where kind of mold sits. So the nasal spray has really helped with that.
Yep, so she's been using that, and then in the very beginning, when we knew that she had Epstein-Barr virus, we were actually using some homeopathics from a company called Desbio, and they make a specific series just for Epstein-Barr virus. So we actually went through 2 rounds of that with Natasha. And so then tell them about your second priority.
Is healing your gut. The gut is super important in healing all around, just because it's 80% of your immune system. So if your gut isn't healed, then you're not able to feel better in the long run, really.
And for most of you may have heard of leaky gut syndrome or intestinal permeability. So when that gut lining gets broken down, you can't absorb your vitamins and your minerals and your nutrients, and your bowel movements could be thrown off. You could have some GI symptoms. But the biggest thing is that's where 80% of the immune system lives. So for Natasha, we were using a product called RepairVite from Apex Energetics, and I'll put a link below in the description for everything that we've used for her, so you don't have to write it down right now. We were also using a lot of bone broth, and we were actually using Vital Proteins bone broth that comes in these little packets, and we would just tear those open. I put them in my smoothies.
They're great because you could travel with them. I travel a lot for work, so it's hard to take all of the supplements that I need to take and to add more. I mean, just to have them in the travel packets was super helpful. So
you're doing that along with also colostrum powder was something that I mix in my smoothies.
I put in my shakes, or I'll just add it with the RepairVite and just shake it up and just drink it down really quickly.
So colostrum is great for helping to boost your immune system as well. And then what was the third priority?
The third priority is just taking immune support. I mean, we're taking all this stuff to kill off the bad guys and support our gut, but we also need to take that immune support. And for me, it's really big just because I do travel a lot for work, so supporting my immune system is very key. So.
And then we were using some products. One was called Immunoven. We would bounce between Immunoven, olive leaf immune.
The olive leaf is what really helped me a lot, just because I don't know what exactly it does.
It's great for viruses. So Natasha would notice that when she took the olive leaf, that her symptoms really improved with the olive leaf.
It would kind of get bad first, and then it would get a little bit better.
Yeah, kind of the unfortunate, it gets worse before it gets better scenario. And then also a lot of vitamin D as
daily.
Well, along with your injections.
Oh yeah, I do these IV injections about 3 to 4 times a week, and it's just a smorgasbord of
immune support,
glutathione,
B vitamins.
And that, after I was doing that for about 4 weeks, that's when I started really feeling a lot better.
But she wouldn't have been able to utilize the benefits of those IVs if it wasn't for helping to kill off the bad guys and patching up the gut, so then her body could actually absorb what she was intaking. So we're going to give you your second challenge today. And the second challenge is going to be...
grounding.
Grounding.
So, it sounds really silly, but just go outside and take your shoes off, take your socks off, put your feet in the ground, in the grass, and just be able to ground yourself. I do that when I'm not feeling well. Dr. King does it when he's not feeling well. And we'll give you a little link to kind of explain to you in detail of what grounding really does for your body.
And what the benefits are. But essentially, you're just dumping all those EMFs that you come in contact with during the day, like your cell phone, the wireless internet, the radio towers, cell phone towers. Our bodies absorb all of that. And so what we're starting to learn now is that actually starts to weaken the immune system. So grounding, fantastic.
It helps. It really does. I'm on a plane a lot, so grounding for me is one of the key things that I do.
Cool. So today's challenge is to go outside 5 minutes and you're going to ground yourself. You must take your shoes off, but you've got to be touching grass or dirt. It can't be concrete because then you're not grounding. And don't forget yesterday's challenge. You still have to continue that. That's only 5 minutes of being still, somewhere where you're in a quiet area and you're just focusing on yourself, your thoughts, whatever you want it to be. So we got 5 minutes alone time, or I like to call it the me time, 5 minutes grounding, and then we will see you tomorrow for
tip number 3.